So last week I asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram, and you guys delivered with so many questions that I thought it'd be fun to make a YouTube video out of it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this Q&A. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel where we talk about tech, career growth, productivity, and life as a digital nomad. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Shreya and I have 5+ years of industry experience as a tech professional. I'm currently located in Seattle, Washington, and I am so excited to have you guys join me today. I will be doing a Q&A. This is going to be my very first Q&A here on YouTube, so I hope you guys like this video, and if you do, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Alright, let's get into it. What university did I attend and which course, and how did I balance internships, coursework, and assignments and projects? So, I went to the University of California, San Diego, based in sunny Southern California. I did my undergraduate degree in bioinformatics, and I also did a minor in business. And the way that I kind of balanced everything was, your basic time management skills. That being said, I prioritized things based on my goals. I knew that the career I was going after valued things like summer internships, experiences along the lines of TAing for professors, academic research, and generally just leadership experience from student orgs. So I prioritized those things over my schoolwork a lot of the time, and that was just because that's how I was able to achieve my goals. And I urge you to make a list of your own priorities and everything that's on your plate, and based on your goals, to create priorities for each of those things on your plate. Hopefully that'll help take the pressure off at least the lower priority items. I'm doing CS now, but I don't know what's next. You know what? I don't either. It's completely natural to not know what you're doing after college. It's completely normal, so please don't feel stressed about that. What you can do is look up LinkedIns of past classmates. You can see what they're doing now. You can get an idea for different options and opportunities that may exist. And if anything, you can talk to your college's resources. So if you have a career center, academic advisor, not even academic advisor specifically for your college, but really it's just a matter of using the resources around you to kind of help you prioritize your goals. Best way to learn programming without coaching. And my opinion is that the best way to learn programming is just by doing. It's a very hands-on skill, and I don't think it's easy to pick it up unless you're actually doing it. Reading books, reading tutorials, watching videos are great options to get you started in terms of theory, but a lot of the learning and the true progress that comes from programming comes from being able to handle errors, being able to scale your project when a server crashes, that kind of thing. And that is some experience that you don't always get unless you're actually doing and programming these projects and applications on your own. I want to be a front-end developer, but I don't know where to start. Start on the internet, as you would with a lot of problems nowadays. What I would recommend is to look up a front-end bootcamp, any bootcamp. Maybe look up the top 3. Maybe look up an online course, an immersive bootcamp, as well as a coaching service. And in that bootcamp, what you'll notice is before you even pay, you can see just a list of the different units and topics that will be covered during the bootcamp. You can also look at front-end job descriptions, and all of those things will give you a nice little summary of things that you should be learning. So with that in mind, you'll probably have a list along the lines of HTML, CSS, then JavaScript, probably some sort of framework like Angular, React. You're probably going to have to learn Git. All of that being said, I think that's pretty much the order in which you would learn those 5 things anyway. And what I would do is get started learning HTML first. So go to freecodecamp.com, free resource to quickly learn any programming language really, and get started. Like I said in the last question, the best way to learn programming is by doing. How can I find a mentor? So this one's tricky. It's really easy to say that you rely on your mentors to get help, but no one really talks about where you actually find these mentors. And the reason is because it's complicated. Sometimes your workplace will set you up with a mentor automatically when you're starting. Sometimes you'll have to go ahead and reach out to other people in your workplace to see if they'd be willing to mentor you. And sometimes you have to be a lot more creative than that. Is it hard to become a software engineer? And that answer kind of depends on exactly what you're trying to do as a software engineer. You could be developing apps on your own, you could be consulting, you could be doing freelance work, and you could be working at a company. And I'm sure there's plenty of other ways to also be a software engineer out there. But my point is, it depends on what you're trying to achieve. That being said, please don't let that stop you. All you have to do is a quick Google search to get yourself started, and you will be able to find opportunities on getting started as a software engineer. Where do you live at the moment? And the answer is Seattle, Washington. I will be moving in about 3 weeks, so stay tuned for the next place that we'll be at. Are you Indian? Yes, I am. Moving on. Where did you buy your tech setup? And I actually did a video on my desk setup tour, and I'll link it in the cards up there. And to answer your question, a lot of it came from Amazon, and a lot of it came from the brand Logitech, which I'm extremely thankful for, so thank you. How to build the logic for coding. And while I don't have too many details on your exact situation, what I would recommend doing is by taking a large chunk of problem that you have to solve and break it up into small parts, and then integrate it all back together later. For me, it's been a lot more helpful just to focus on one small problem at a time instead of thinking about a larger conglomerate of issues at the same time. I don't know where to start. Please guide me. And my answer to that is, I don't know either. I don't have enough details to really answer your question, but depending on your situation, what I would do is go to google.com. Thankfully, we live in this very, very developed age where Google kind of already has knowledge on different paths for different things that you may be trying to start. So for example, if what you're trying to do here is become a data scientist, if you just Google how to become a data scientist, you will see plenty of results on the best ways to start and go about the path of becoming a data scientist. And this will go for pretty much anything that you're trying to start. How to be consistent in what we're doing. Sometimes it feels like coding is not meant for us. And let me tell you, I feel this. Here's what I suggest. Maybe change your environment a little bit. Maybe change the technologies you're working on, the languages, frameworks, something like that. If that doesn't work, I would consider changing up. If that doesn't work, change up your pace. Maybe you're trying to achieve goals a little bit too quickly or too slowly, that it doesn't or keeps you overstimulated. Another thing is maybe change the domain of the things that you're working on. So if you're not super interested in your project, it's really hard to stay consistent in it. And the last thing I would recommend changing is maybe taking a break. And I have a video on taking a break as well, which I'll link here too. But basically, this could be a sign that your body's just telling you that it needs a break. And hopefully when you come back, your brain will come back more motivated to stay consistent. One small change that helped boost your productivity. And for me, that was creating to-do lists every single day, the night before any day. And I would go as far as to say add some timestamps to it. So suppose you have 6 to 8 things that you want to get done in the next day. What I will write down is by 10 a.m. I want to finish things number 1, 2, and 3. By 3 p.m. I want to finish things number 4 and 5. And by 10 p.m. I want to finish things number 6, 7, and 8. And by having this time-stamped to-do list, it holds me accountable and really allows me to visualize my day the night before. What opportunities has content creation opened up for you? And I would say a lot of them. I have been able to speak at conferences, network, and meet people that I would never have met otherwise. I've been able to host workshops, and I've been able to really see firsthand some of the impact that I've been able to make, which has been absolutely incredible. Another really cool thing is that it's allowed me to take an experience and a product and service from absolute ground and create a launch out of it. I work on the growth on a day-to-day basis of my service, and it's a really cool experience that does add to my skill set going forward at work. How to get a recruiter's attention. And Believe me, I know how tricky this can be. It's not easy to get a recruiter's attention, especially at companies where there's thousands of applications for just one position. So what I would recommend is to try to get a referral. And if you can't and you're trying to go the recruiter route, what I would do is message them on LinkedIn, especially if a recruiter's header on LinkedIn says, "We're hiring." That means that they're generally open to talking further about different positions. I would also go as far as to say that if there's a position that you're very interested in, go ahead and feel free to also message the hiring manager directly on LinkedIn. This sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, but as long as you're extremely respectful and direct about what you want, go for it. I say go for it. I say go for the opportunity and just be cognizant of the fact that you may face rejection, but you would possibly face that regardless. So I honestly think there's nothing to lose as long as you're generally kind and courteous about your requests. Are you single, engaged, or married? To answer this question, let me ask if this sounds familiar. My name is Shreya Malik, and I create content on tech, career growth, productivity, and life as a digital nomad. And my relationship status is really not part of any of these categories, which is why you don't really see me talking about it much here, but I will keep you in the know if it ever becomes relevant. What tech stack do you work in? So I have worked both as a backend engineer and a full stack engineer. As a backend engineer, I was primarily using Java 8 and Spring Boot, and as a full stack engineer, I primarily use JavaScript with the Angular framework and your standard HTML, CSS. All right, that's all the questions we're going to answer today. I hope your question was answered, and I hope this was entertaining for you to watch. I hope you learned something through some of the resources that I shared. That being said, thank you guys so much for submitting the questions. I was honestly blown away at how many of you guys asked. I think there were almost 70 plus questions, so thank you guys so much for submitting them again. And thanks for sticking around till the end of this video. If you did, I'd love it if you could give my channel a subscribe or this video a like, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.